Magic's gone crazy again because Magic players just found an old style Magic card that they can use, and that card has now spiked over 1000%. What are Magic players to think when a card goes from 50 cents all the way to $15? Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me today for another video. And yeah, this card has spiked over 1000%. I know, we hate wasting time. We want to dive right into the card. So let me share this with you guys. We'll get to the talking part afterwards. So here we have Penance. This is from Exodus, and no, this is not a reserve list card. It's not on the reserve list. But this card has something going for it that players are really starting to hook onto and use, and that means this card is jacked up in price, okay? So this card went from being 50 cents all the way to an average of $13.20, so that's a little over 1000% increase in just a day or two. So what are we talking about? This card is an enchantment, it's an uncommon, and it is only 1 white and 2 generic to cast this enchantment. And by the way, I like the artwork, and yes, I'll be honest, I never knew this card existed, okay? Sorry, it's a fact, so that's how we have it. This card says, choose a card from your hand and put that card on top of your library. Prevent all damage from a black or red source. Treat further damage from that source normally. So you're going to prevent damage, you put it on top. But why would you want to do this? Well, back in the day, you probably just wanted to prevent damage. But the way that Commander has evolved, the way that Commander is nowadays, there's something more. Look at Arthur, the Marigold Knight. Now again, it has white in its casting cost. It's a 4/5 mouse knight with haste. But it does say, whenever Arthur the Marigold Knight and at least one other creature attack, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Return that creature to its owner's hand at the end of combat. Guys, I want you to think about this. You're just going to prevent damage, put some just sickly creature on top of your library, and you'll get to shove that thing and trick it into the battlefield. Sneak it on there. Guys, this is insane. And this isn't the only card that can do this, by the way, okay? It's not just that one card. The other commanders that can do this is like Yennet, Amator, the Veil Piercer. There's other cards that can do the similar effects or have reasons to use like the same effect as the Arthur Marigold Knight. They're all doing it slightly differently, but they all have a reason to have Penance. And because of that, well, the card has started to spike up, and not just a little bit, but seriously, massively. But there's a few things we have to understand in the market. Yeah, I've showed you a card that has spiked over 1000%. It's impressive on paper. The sales back it up. It looks like everything's tickety-boo, right? Everything's fine. But it's not. It's not. This is a classic example of a manipulated market with the wheels are turning with a few speculators who got in early, gathered up massive quantities of these cards for 50, 60 cents, made sure the sales went through as they knew the card was going to uptick, and now because of that, they're selling it back into the market at 1000% profit. Somebody's getting rich. Now, I'm not saying it's one particular person. Even if there was 100 people doing it, even if there's 5 commander decks that want to utilize this card right now, that's a lot of different commander decks that all need a copy of this card. Now you would think, yes, it's on the reserve list, Moxman, but it's not. So it's going to get reprinted, Moxman. How do I know? I do know that Wizards of the Coast likes money. I know that Hasbro wants them to make money. So cards like this could get a reprint, but better yet, time has taught us a lot of things. This card's popularity will not stand. If reserve list cards can't hold value when they get a spike in interest, this card Penance is not going to do anything differently. It's going to have a short-term spike. It's going to trend back down 90 days from now. And if you're a smart player out there who knows what you're looking for and you want to build a deck utilizing this card, you just have to wait till it falls below the $5 mark. I call that fair deal. I mean, it has a use now. Players want to get it. But there's no reason to buy a card like this at that price point. Because if everyone kept buying it, and for some reason it could stay this high, which it can't, but if it did, if for some reason, Wizards would reprint it. But chances are the FOMO on this thing is going to wear down, like we've seen time and time again. But it's still impressive that it got shot up into the stratosphere this fast. It's in a very short time frame. And when I compare it to other sales data that I have on other cards like this that have gone up reserve list and non-reserve list, I think this is the fastest one I've seen jump up in such a short time span. Usually there's hundreds of sales backing up other cards over the course of like a 7 to 12 day period. That didn't happen here. All the local stores I checked, they sold out right away. They don't have anything in stock. So this is one of those cards that stands alone. The cheese stands alone, and it's a little bit more unique. But it's not the only card. We have another card to share with you guys, and again, it's got some craziness going on. And again, it's not on the reserve list. Take a look at this. Now for our next card, I want you to take a look at Surveyor Scope. Commander 2013, and it's in Anthology. This thing has gained $4.72 as a monthly change. This thing has risen over 500%. Now, unlike Penance, this one's more likely to stay at a higher price point, and that's something to be aware of. That means this is more likely to get a reprint than from Penance. If we take a closer look at the card, it's a 2 casting cost artifact that says, Exile Surveyor Scope. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of players who control at least 2 more lands than you. Put those lands onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. I mean, this card to me makes a lot more sense staying higher in price than Penance. Because any player who's fallen behind on their mana base or thinks they could fall behind may make this card one of their 99. They might slot this thing in because it's a low casting cost card that players are more likely to ignore. They're not going to see it as a threat. They're just going to say, oh, it's land. But you notice the land doesn't come into play tapped? So depending on the situation in which you're using that card, you can use it to get out some giant beastie and turn the whole game around. You can use a card like this in ways that people don't expect. But again, if players start buying this card en masse, if this card hits the 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,000%, I find this card unlikely to sink back down to its previous level. Players who take an interest in cards like these, or just realize they now existed, tend to hold on to them. Even if they're going to get a reprint, $5, $6 doesn't really matter to a Commander player who wants to have it for the long term and not worry about it. They don't want to wait 2 years for a reprint. They don't care about the value in the secondary market other than the value they can trade in for other cards, because they are more likely to hold on to these cards for the longer term. Guys, this card is something to keep an eye on. If you happen to have some, good for you. But at the same time, Wizards of the Coast, if they see this card spiking, if they see it running in a lot of powerful decks that have a lot of interest from players, if they see content going out galore about this card, like I'm presenting to you today, it's more likely to get a reprint on the checkbox. They're going, okay, put that one in there again. We got to make some money. Players want that card. Either way, it will get a reprint. The question is when. A card like Penance will not hold its value. The Surveyor Scope probably will hold more value over a longer period of time. A lot of players can use the card for a very long period of time, switching it between decks. Guys, I hope you found the video informative today. I hope you had a good time hanging out with me today. And a reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget, guys, thumbs up the video, like and subscribe to the channel. We are marching now toward the 25,000 subscriber mark, which is the halfway goal of our 50K grand goal. So guys, thanks a lot for helping out here in the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the content every day. It's awesome being with you guys here on YouTube. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with another video. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to my fantastic patrons here on the channel. Because these patrons' daily uploaded content is made possible on YouTube, so thanks again for being supporters. Whether you're a YouTube membership member or one of my regular patrons, guys, it's awesome having you on board supporting. And of course, I look forward to doing these videos every single day with you guys, because it's a way of just having a good time and talking about Magic. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Welcome back to the after party. I hope you have your lanyard displayed correctly so you can get to the backstage. Ramble jamble! Guys, I didn't know Penance existed. Never played with it, never seen it used against me, and now that I see it, I'm going, whew, that's a good card. That is a good card, man. I gotta be honest. Somebody's gonna make a killing off of all those sales. It's just the way it's going to be. Now, in the case of the Surveyor Scope, I didn't know that existed either. I've actually never seen it played against me in a Commander game. I've never seen one slotted in, but it makes sense to have one to me. So I am going to pick up a couple copies. I know. I may buy into the FOMO. Can't help myself. don't want to wait 2 years to get the card. It's just the way I am sometimes. There's other times I'm very patient. This is not one of them. I got commander decks to build, people. I got things I want to do, and that card, as well as the Penance, will fit in my time walking deck. Being able to put the miracle cards right on top, putting them back down, saying, "Oh, I'll draw that next time. It's a miracle cost. Yay!" Then use the Ring of Maruf to go back and get it again. It's going to be fun. That's the whole point, isn't it? Either way, can't wait to have that experience with some of these extra cards coming in. So, thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for being here, guys. It is awesome. I got the coffee. We're about the halfway mark, which is not bad. And I can't wait to see you guys this week. It's going to be awesome. Now, if you're here at the end of this video, we'll put a boomstick in the comment section. That way I know that you saw this part, because there is a chance, since this is the Moxman's anniversary week, I will be out of town. So there'll be some pre-recorded videos, I hope. Assuming my time allows for it, we may have a gap in video recording. I'm trying to get some preloaded stuff ready for you guys so you don't miss any content. I'm just not sure if I can get everything done, so bear with me. I'll do the best I can. It's a couple of days at most. But no matter what, everything should be back in order by Saturday. So it might get rough on Wednesday, and it gets back to normal on Saturday at the worst. But I may find time for you guys. I think I will find time. I think I should find time. What am I talking about? Don't worry. I'm going to make it happen. You can count on me. I'll see you guys soon.